to be your facilitator for today. So I'll be facilitating the session on designing solutions for humans. We know at the end of the Coders at American session, we are supposed to develop solutions, and these solutions we are going to compete. And for your solutions to be considered among the best, it has to be used by people. So designing solutions or coming up with different solutions really is very important even before you are able to now even specialize. We know we are left with a few sessions, I think three or actually it's a minimum of 3 or 4 sessions for the coding sessions. And then now we are able to start and we are able to specialize if you are really interested in web development, web applications, and also you are interested in security, mobile application, whichever area you are interested in, you need to develop a solution. So today's process is very, very important, and it really help you even as you think through the solutions that you want to develop, either web, mobile, any solutions, the solutions will come into handy. So thank you so much for joining. I look forward to interacting. So the session will be also interactive. Feel free to share your views, your opinions, suggestions. If you have any question, please let me know and I will be able to move on. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. I think I've shared the wrong one. You need to see slides. I think I'll stop sharing and share again. Okay, I'll share. One moment. Let me know if you're able to see my screen, my PowerPoint presentation. Anyone can tell me on the chat if you're able to see my presentation. Is my presentation visible? Let me check on the chats. I can see Charles, Bijuma, Daida. Thank you so much for letting me know. Oh, great. So today we'll be learning how to design these solutions for humans. Let me put it on present mode. Yeah, and as I started, I said it's very, very important. You just don't wake up and come up with a solution. So whatever we are going through will help you. And I hope that you'll be able to utilize whatever we will be learning today to be able to develop solutions which are very competitive. Yeah, so we are going to look at approach on human-centered design. So this simply means that you are designing solutions that are going to be used by humans, or designing solutions with humans in mind, because at the end of the day, you like people to use your products, people to subscribe to maybe your services. Maybe you also want people to use your website, your mobile application. So you really need to give reasons why people need to do that. And also sometimes we also need to understand what are some of the approaches or different ways that we need to go so that we're able to come up with good solutions. There's always a very good story that I don't know if you've heard about it. There was an NGO that came to a certain village, and they saw women, like they could take like a long time, or like walk quite some distance to go and fetch wet water in a specific well or a specific river. So you could find that most of them could really walk long distances just to go and fetch that water. So they decided, without even involving the community, they decided to do good. So they decided to dig a water borehole that is close to their home. that is going to reduce the time they could take to go to the river. So you can imagine, if you are you, this is a very good solution, right? You feel like, okay, these women are working for a long time. They might need to have like boreholes that are very closer to them, but unfortunately no. So after the NGO came and built the well, and after some time they came back just to see like if the women were using, and actually majority of the women could just bypass the well to go and fetch the water in the well that they were using. The water that the NGO had put there was clean and all that, but they didn't know that these women, the reason why they could prefer going to fetch water on the well that was very far was the fact that these women loved to talk, they love to share their challenges on their way to fetching water. So this really helped them in their mental health, or even at some point in whatever they could do, they could organize some of their self-women groups on their way to the well. So you find that this solution was a very good one, but users at some point were not involved. So it's very important. You can decide maybe to develop a solution today, decide to develop a mobile application, maybe that's a specific thing, but at some point, because you as a developer, you are as a coder, you feel that, wow, this is a game changer idea, people are going to use it. So we need to understand different steps that we can take, or how are we able to engage even our users so that they're able to be able to use our solution. So human-centered design is a way that you're able to design and develop solutions with users in mind. So this is a table showing different concepts on human-centered design that we also need to consider when we are also building or coming up with ideas. Like for example, viability, what can be financially viable. At some point, we might come up with innovative solutions, but who do you think are going to use the solutions? Is it meant for highly like highly people who are above the poverty line? Are you using middle class? So it's also very important to know the financial viability of it. How much money will you need? Yeah, even with the short time that we are going to have like a period of 3 months. Within these 3 months, as coders, we've been going through a lot of training, coding sessions on different topics. So you are going to specialize on different area. You can choose one, and then whatever you've chosen, you are able to design a solution for that. So you also need to understand how viable is it. And also some of these things are going to be put into the judging rubric. The judges will go through it and be able to understand, okay, these solutions that you have developed, is it financially viable, or is it that a solution that you'll spend a lot of money and you'll not have users or returns as you anticipate? This, how is it desirable to people? Like, do people really want to use this? Have you conducted your market research? Do you know how many people need? Like for example, if you want to come up with maybe with a mobile application that even help people in the rural area maybe get information in a specific time or in a good way, have you considered that the community that they live, do they have smartphones? Do they even have power? Do they even have internet? So those are some of, you can have a very good idea, but you are targeting the wrong people. So you really need to know who is going to use your product. So this is also going to be part of the judging rubric that judges are going to follow to judge your solutions. As we be nearing towards the end of the judging process, we'll be able to share all the details with you. But this is just to help you visualize, or as you work, think of a solution, have that in mind. The other part is the technicality, that is the visibility, the feasibility. So you need to understand that is the user experience, user design very user friendly, that the users can use it very well. Yeah, so we have, like, maybe we might be wondering where or what areas do the human-centered design apply, or where are where is the human-centered design concept being used? Like for example, in developing products, services, spaces, and systems, because you really need to, these are products that maybe people use. If it's maybe depending on different gender, it could be male, it could be female, it could be age group. They have specific categories, specific design, and yeah, so it's very important that you're able to know that human-centered design is used in a variety of fields, and even the chairs that we sit, someone just it depending on the environment, the place you are. If you want to maybe, if you're in an office, there are chairs meant for that. If you want maybe to relax, there are chairs meant for that. So you find that the company or the person who was designing this, they really had users in mind. So let us look into different phases of design thinking. Like for you to come up with a very good solution that will also involve human, it's very important that we go through these three phases. They're very, very important. I will encourage all of us to have them in mind: inspiration phase, ideation phase, and implementation phase. So what is the inspiration phase? This is in a very simple way. This is in a way that maybe, let's take for example, you want to help mama mboga people, or you realize that most people do not have a lot of time in their home, and they're able to, and they really want these services from mama mboga, but they're not able to do that. Even apart from mama mboga, maybe we can take a very good example. Let me show you some of the solutions that you need to come up with. So hope, are you able to see my screen? Let me see on the chat, anyone? I've switched from one screen to the other, so I need to know if you've been able to see the screen. Are you able to see the way I've indicated? Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Charles and Christopher, for letting me know. Oh, Daida, that's great. When we come to the Coders at American Space webpage, this is the webpage. If you don't have it, I'll put it, let me put it on the chat so that it's going to be a constant reminder. Okay, let me put it here on the chat. You can have a look at it later. Yeah, so when we come here, these are solutions that are American Space in partnership with Polytechnic Girls and US Embassy. They want you to develop these solutions along this side. Yeah, along this area. So we have challenges around in health. So you might need to think around health. What are you trying to come up in health? You can also think on economy. You can also think of democracy, security. So these are four pillars that you really need to put in mind. You can have very good ideas you want to develop on different categories, but I'll encourage for you to stand out and be able to compete well, you need to develop these solutions. So like, for example, if we were to develop a solution in democracy, and now we are in the inspiration phase. This is where like maybe you are able even to meet with the people, you deeply understand what exactly are they really going through when it comes to democracy. They might have different challenges. It could be maybe voting, it could be even maybe accessing information. So like you really need to go deeply and be able to understand whatever the people are going through. At some point you can ask around your community, you can even ask your family as well. It's very, very important. So even when you are pitching, or maybe when you are writing your write-up where you develop that solution, it really comes out that you developed something because you were inspired to do it. Like for example, there's a certain guy who developed a solution for the blind, And what really inspired him was the fact that in his high school, in his university life, I think it was like more of a coincidence. Most of his friend or a close friend could be someone who is blind. So when it happened in the university and he really wanted to support the friend, he decided to come up with a solution that will help him. So you find that even when he was able to pitch to judges, he was able actually even got award, and at some point he met the Queen of England. So why? Because he was able to put himself and also develop a solution based on whatever he saw, whatever his experience. So it's very important that even these solutions that are in health, democracy, and also security, it's very important that at least you have an idea, you have like people who've interacted with, like for example, if it could be maybe democracy could be in different category, it could be maybe how people are voting, how maybe at some point you are not very interested on how people are getting information, or maybe from the IBC, how maybe people are sharing false information that ends people getting killed, people participating in violent activities during elections, so even before or after. So this is very important. So if you have that in mind, it really helps you, because at least you have gone through this phase of the inspiration, you've interacted with people. So it's very, very important for us to understand that. So inspiration is also part of design thinking. And then we can also have ideation. Now the ideation part, this is where like, okay, you have all these in mind, you want now to narrow down into, you decide like, maybe I want to design a website. I want to design a website whereby people will be able to access maybe information, rightful information from the right sources, so that incidents like where people are able to involve in crimes, people even kill other people or loot people's products. So you really need to know that once you're able to have all that in mind, you need to ideate so that at least you can develop prototype. It could be like a website. So you need to decide, like to say, like in your homepage, in your about, what exactly will user be seeing when they'll be able to interact with it. So ideation is very important. And I know when we'll be breaking into our different area of interest, it could be mobile applications, cybersecurity, web apps, which we are going to learn this Saturday. We are having one of our trainer will be taking us through web application. So you need to put your ideas into a prototype. It could be a website, it could be a mobile application. You can look at a good example of this picture. Yeah, you see that this young lady here has like a step by step. Okay, so my user come from this area, they need to go to this area, they need to go to the next area. So it's very, very important that you are able to have a prototype of this. It will help you a lot. I remember we've worked a lot with even with young women as they develop solutions. It's very hard for you to design even a mobile app, even a website itself. If you don't have a prototype, you need to have like a flow. From here I'll go here, from here I'll move to this part. So it's very, very important. I will encourage all of us to have that. But don't worry, we'll once as we break into a different specialization, we'll have different trainers, different mentors, and facilitators assisting us on that. Yeah, and the final part, which is now the exciting part, is the implementation. This is where now you bring your solutions into reality. If it's a mobile application, using the prototype that you had already designed, now you actually develop it depending on different platforms, depending on different technologies. Also, this part is very important. We also need to test. Like for example, when you're working on a mobile application, you need to test if it's working. You can even share with your friends, your colleagues, so that they're able to test if some features are working before judges. And one, okay, all right, let me. Hope I'm a bit audible. Let me check. Let me check on your charts. Hope I'm not breaking. Yeah. How about now? Hope you can hear me. Okay, fantastic. Yes, so up to there. Oh, thank you so much, Bijuma. So until there, that's whatever we've covered. I want maybe any one of us, feel free to share on the chat. Like for example, if we were to develop a solution, this is just random, and I always believe like when you share ideas, it's not maybe something that someone is going to steal. Like maybe if we were on democracy, what do you think are some of the things that we are going to consider? Like which areas do you think like using technology we can really solve this solution? So just feel free to throw your suggestions on the chat. I'll go through them. Actually, today's session is very, very brief. I want us to discuss, ask as many questions as possible because we'll not do it again. I can stop sharing. Yeah, so like what are some of the areas, especially in democracy, that you feel that maybe using a web applications, a website, mobile application, cybersecurity, whatever you've been told to become very helpful? What are some of the areas? Let me see some of the charts. And remember, there are also going to be awards. There are also going to be awards for the best solutions in different categories. Yeah, so maybe some of things that you feel democracy is a bit complicated. Health. Okay, so let's see what. Let me see some of the ideas. Okay, so we have Christopher that these issues affecting the nations with appropriate genuine data. Wow, this is really great. Might not have ideas. That's awesome, Christopher. And then we can have Simeon collecting views, conducting polls on government policies and decisions. Let me see what Adija says. Okay, so Adija says that she did not get what I said during the first slide. So the first slide I talked about designing solutions for human, and we are going to use human-centered design. Yeah, so even from the two solutions that I can see from suggested by Simeon and Christopher. These are really, really great ideas, and I believe they will really help the community. And remember, if your idea is very, very innovative, you become among the best people are going to be awarded during this project. You could have like a permanent place to account if you are developing a mobile application. You can have a web hosting for a specific period of time. You can even have mentorship after that. And then also as the network and the networks by the American Space, even from the US Embassy. You never know, some of these projects could be adapted and being used. And apart from that, you could even start generating revenue from it. So there are also various ways. As we can see, there is health. We've talked about democracy. There is health. I'm sure not all of us will be very, very interested in democracy. There's some who are going to be interested in health. There's some who are going to be interested in security. So I want you to start thinking that also as we learn. So for some of you who managed to join late, if we are able to come up with this solution, it will be very, very important because we are only left with the data science and project launch management. After that, the trainings are done. We are going to have like a 3 months where you just meet with your trainer, you tell them, okay, this is my idea. and this is what I feel. If it's a web application, if it's a website, this is what is going to appear on the site. So you really need to develop, so at the end you will have to produce tangible solutions. And one thing that I like about the process is you are able to learn, because at some point, if you learn all this technology, all this coding, without putting them into practice or coming up with a specific project, it's very, very hard for you to learn. Yeah, so even the entire process, I would really like to encourage all of us to be able to be very positive, and you'll have very great facilitators who've been supporting you through the process. So I really like to encourage you to be able to really nice. And like I say, this is something like it's a bigger picture. You just need to sit down and put, maybe go into finer details, like is it like how is it from the console, is it from manufacturers, also how you manage from it. So like I think for now, just have them as broad ideas. So it will be very, very important. Like once you start maybe prototyping, you now to develop the actual solution. So that is great. Yeah, so it is very important also to think of this solution, because at the end you are going to have a product. And remember, we have other young people as well from Nakuru, Nairobi. We also have other young people in 4 regions: Nakuru, Lamu, Nairobi, and Mombasa. And it's going to be open to all the coders who've been participating. So I would really like to encourage the Mombasa team. I innovative. Yeah, so let's do this. So I just wanted to highlight that part of human-centered design. So each and every time you're thinking of your solution, ensure you're able to look for your target market. Who exactly are going to use your application? You can say that your application is going to be used by maybe from people from maybe 17 to 35. It could be great if you're able to go down into finer details. Yeah, so we have a few slides left. Let me check what we have. Then we can open it to Q&A. Now this is where you'll have an opportunity to ask me questions even regarding the when exactly are you going to start this implementation phase. Yeah, so these are just some of the, as we move forward, you might find that you come up with this solution, things don't work, but because you involve, you might, maybe there's a specific feature you might want to add, but when you discuss it with your community, with your friends and colleagues, they might not be interested, or they tell you move it. Just understand that it's a bigger problem. Even for example, the solutions that Hadija provided, you need to narrow it down. So at some point things will work, at some point it might not work. So it is also very important as we go through this entire process of even developing solutions, we are able to know that we'll come through some of the challenges. Yeah, so one also other aspect that I feel it's very important is empathy. And we can see that empathy is the capacity to step into someone's shoes. Like for example, if you're developing a solution for, how can I say, like for example, you're even developing a solutions for hawkers, you really need to be in their shoes. At some point, maybe decide like, okay, let me even decide today half day, let me go and interact with them, let me go and stay with them, let me just see what exactly it takes to be a hawker. So when you have that empathy, it really helps you to develop a solution that actually your target users are humans, unless maybe your users are not humans. But empathy is also a very important aspect as we do design thinking. Yeah, so we also know that that now you can have like, I will really recommend you to put all your ideas down. Like, okay, what area am I really interested? I'm really interested in health. or in democracy. Put down all the ideas that you want to work on. Then at some point, the ideas are very wide, then you can always narrow down. And yeah, just be very easy. It requires you to be very persistent. And I believe with the facilitators that we are having, we are soon about to break into different areas so that we don't have to have one WhatsApp group where one is interested in apps, one is interested in mobile application. So it's always important just to know that I'm sure by the time we finish in 2 weeks to 3 weeks time, you shall have like an interest. Yeah, so once you're interested, we are going to group you into different groups that will really help you. Yeah, so I think that's it for me. I'd like to open any questions regarding the humans that we went through today. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. You can put them in the chat or you can unmute and I'm going to answer. Yeah, so as we wait for if someone has any question, Saturday session we are going to have web applications. We are going to have an expert who is good in PHP. They are coming to support you. So I'm really looking forward that you'll be able to join the Saturday session. So let me stop sharing my slides. Yeah, so I believe that we've been able to understand whatever we need to go through to come up with solutions. I can see some questions here. Oh, really? Okay. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. I've received like a message that my internet is freezing. But I hope you've been able to understand. But this session has been recorded. Thank you so much for highlighting that. So if there is no any other question and you're all comfortable to having you on Saturday, where you are going to be able to learn web applications, with data science session and product management. Then you start working on our process. It's going to be a very exciting journey. Okay, so Aditi is asking what categories are we going to be divided into? So you are going to divide you into web applications, to divide you into websites, mobile applications, security, and also web apps. Yeah, so when you in these categories, we're going to have, we're also going to have data science category where you'll be able to come up with the solutions in data science too. So we'll share all this information once we are also ready to start with the sessions where we are able to now start working with the students. This is where maybe you'll find that in your group in security, you're able to work with the mentor. You're going to have like a timetable that will work, that you are going to have time, they're going to support you. Charles is asking, can one join more than one group? Yeah, sure, but with the 3 months, unless maybe you'll work super hard, because you'll only need to submit one solution. You are not able to submit solutions unless you want to integrate a mobile app and a website. You want to integrate security and web application, but you are allowed. We are going to make it very open to whoever is interested in joining the groups. So I hope that answers. Yes, so I hope you're where you'll be putting whatever you've learned into practice. You'll be learning Python, you'll be learning cybersecurity and everything. You'll be putting it into practice, and at the end you'll have solution. Yeah, so kama you passionate about mobile apps, you'll have the mobile app with websites. Yeah, and I'm really inspired. There's a lady from Mombasa. Actually, she involved me, and I was able to support her. Yeah, so I think it's very important that you are able to apart from just thinking. I know until now you've already identified a specific field, but we still have two more. Yeah, so it's going to be a great session. That's something I can say. Yeah, I would like to end. Yeah, so thank you so much. This video recording is going to be shared on the WhatsApp group. Yeah, so get excited as you prepare to start working on your solutions after the trainings. Yeah, so I wish you all a very good day. Yeah, and stay safe.